Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another episode of Light of the World. We're in the midst of doubt. We stand to be the light of the world. Today, introducing my name is Celine, and I will be your host for today's podcast. On today's podcast, we are bringing in a famous actor, mostly known for his role of Bucky Barnes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Also, starring in the recent film called Different Man, winning the Golden Globes 2025 for the Best Actor for his new recent movie. And today we are going to dig into the details on how he get to be an inspiring actor and to uncover a little bit of his past. So without further ado, please welcome in Sebastian Stan.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay. So, I'm so glad that you have time to come to this podcast.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Today we are going to talk about your past and uncover
Okay.
your past a little.
Okay.
So, first question. You were originally from Romania, then you moved to Austria, and then you moved to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you were 12, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, that must have been a culture shock for you, right?
I mean, I guess it might have been. I mean, it was the first time seeing bananas and palm trees. I mean, we didn't have any bananas and palm trees back in Romania, so I guess it was. I was a little stunned.
Mm. So, have you always dreamed of being an actor?
Not really, actually. Well, when I was younger, I wanted to become an astronaut because I was really obsessed with NASA and I had no intentions of acting at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. And you said something about the American dream in an interview. Could you please explain what that means?
Like growing up in Romania, I've always heard about the American dream.
Mm.
What is it? It's like it's the land where you come to be. You have opportunities. You're free to speak your ideas and make something of yourself. But sometimes I feel like there's another side of the American dream that we don't go into, like the darker side. And what does that mean? That my new recent film, Donald Trump: The Apprentice, you can watch it now online. And yeah, that story, that movie really captures the meaning of the darker side of the American dream. Like, why is it so important for us? How far do we go to win it? And yes.
Oh, interesting. So recently, I heard you just won the Golden Globes 2025 for the Best Actor. So, how do you feel after winning that award?
I mean, I was stunned. I'm really grateful that I won. I mean, there were a lot of incredible actors in that thing. I mean, you just don't know what to expect.
Oh. You had the whole crowd hanging on to every word you say because it was beautiful how you talk about it. How you thank your stepfather in your speech because he took your mother and grown child in and stayed in the gap for you all.
Who left Romania in search of a better life, gave me everything, and from my stepfather, Tony, who took on a single mom and a grown-up kid, thank you for being a real man. Golden Globes, I love you. Remain until you best.
Yeah, my father, he was the one who brought us to America, and if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. He's no longer around, but he was a gentleman. And I think these are what these moments are for. I had the chance to thank, all of these incredible people in my life, like my father, my mother, my partner, and my manager who I've been working with for 27 years.
Impressive. Uh, in the interview, you said that acting wasn't your first dream, but to become to become an astronaut in NASA, right? Why is that? And how did you switch from wanting to become an astronaut to an actor?
Yeah, like I've said, I've always been really obsessed with NASA back then. But I kind of got into it when I grew up to a teenager. I did all of these screenplays like Breeze, Little Shop of Horrors, and all of that stuff really led me to where I am now.
Hmm. Well, is it true that when you were younger, you used to work in cinemas?
I did. Yeah, I was
Really?
an usher. I was an usher when I
Oh.
was 15, and yeah, I've been working for a while, and I couldn't eat popcorn anymore. I've eaten too much back then.
Okay. So I'll say this once again. You are mostly famous for your role as James Buchanan Barnes in the MCU. How did you get that role?
Well, I remember I was on a set, and my phone kept ringing. It was a no caller ID, so I just didn't answer it because I didn't know who it was. And there was this message, and we were on a desert, so there wasn't a lot of service.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing this message coming in and out saying, "Hey, it's Kevin, by the way. Just I think you should know that you're Bucky. You're gonna be Bucky Barnes. So
Wow.
call me and let's talk." And I was like, "Wait," and somebody goes, "Wait, but it's April 1st. Don't you think like that's a joke?"
Oh.
And originally, I auditioned for the role of Steve Rogers, and it's been like a really weird roller coaster for me because I auditioned for the role like 3 to 4 times in a span of 5 months, and I somehow became Bucky. And I think a lot about that moment because I think it did change my life because I never knew that I'd be sitting here 15 years later still talking about this character, or that people would come up to me and ask me about him. And I thinking back, I just go, I just wish I could go back in time. I would have done all of these things, all of these other things, but everything is meant to be the way it was. And yeah, I'm deeply grateful. I'm really happy that I get to play a character like that. And let's just see what happens next.
Hmm. So how was it playing the role Bucky? Do you enjoy it? And were you excited about it?
I was definitely excited when I read the script. I mean, I don't know how far they were gonna take it because the playing field was so open. They could have done anything with the character. And for me as an actor, I was really happy because I get to play all of these different colors. Yeah.
Oh. And how was it playing alongside with Chris Evans?
I love Chris. He's an incredible actor. He's a generous one. He likes to find cool scenes in a movie. He's really open to ideas. And when we're making a film, you kind of need teamwork. You need a team to be put together to film. And having Chris alongside you really helps bring the team together.
Hmm. So you've recently played a role of a disabled person named Edward in a new Hollywood movie called A Different Man. So Sebastian, your character starts the film with a serious face discapement and then gets his miracle cure.
Yeah, the facial disfigurement is called neurofibromatosis. It develops when you're like 3 to 4 years old, so you're not born with it. And yeah, my character Edward has that condition. And yeah, he is an aspiring actor. He lives alone. He has this stereotypical fashion that you would expect from him, and yeah, he got his miracle. He got his surgery, and he thinks that all of his dreams would come true. But it's actually the opposite.
Hmm. And I've seen you actually wore the face prosthetics while going around New York. How did you feel about it? Are you embarrassed or like what?
It felt extremely isolating. I was very scared. I mean, you stand out with the prosthetics, and there's like this powerless feeling to it. And I've spoken to Adam Pearson about it, and he was generous enough to share some of his own experience. And yeah, my character Edward, he is really alone in the world, and like I've said in past interviews, that people aren't really good liars. So you start to feel that uncomfortability,
Ah.
and yeah, that's definitely something that we need to point out, and that we need to normalize the idea of being different, and somehow find a way, and so that people can stay curious about it rather than being distant.
Yeah. And I mean, from our perspective, it is an extraordinary watch. It really is. And I also love the fact that you work really close with Adam Pearson in this film. But this other new film that came out, Donald Trump, The Apprentice, you are playing as young Trump. I assume that you were totally working closely with Trump as well, right?
No, no, actually, no. He already has his hands full, so I'm on my own there.
Oh, interesting. So, in the past, you talk about how you're scared of making decisions that will be a mistake because some of these roles you're playing are quite challenging. And you take a character like Donald Trump in the role that went up for the American election. Is that one of those things when your friend says, "Are you really sure you want to do this?"
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people told me, to not do it, and I can understand that. But, I'm in the place in my life where I want to ask questions. Well, not just for myself, but I want to be a part of the conversation that I think, reflects the times that we're in. Bring up issues that maybe are not always comfortable, but try to get a little bit closer to the truth in some capacity. And I don't know how else to do that except to try and go there into the storm, if you will, and understand what happened. I mean, we're talking about a man that is so beloved and so hated in all these extreme ways, and I think it's important to understand why.
Hmm. And how have you been doing the research for the par?
Well, I mean, fortunately, there's a lot of material out there and information. Well, I've been going back into the 70s and the 80s, a time that many people have forgotten, and everybody was familiar with the now him now, but back then, he was very different. There's this Arona Barrett that was really helpful. All these other appearances on Oprah, Larry King, Bubba Walters. He was on the cover of GQ, Time Magazine, New York Times. I mean, all that stuff is available to people, so there was a lot to draw from, and it's interesting because, yeah, to me it seems like there's a very different person. So how did it all evolve to this?
And you have to immerse yourself to become Trump.
Well, I mean, I don't know, however you want to take it, but I think there's a little bit of Trump in all of us. I hate to say it, but there was certainly a me to some extent. I mean, you have to tackle the part and find something in there, obviously, that you're trying to explore. But I think it's really important for us that we keep trying to tackle anything difficult, uncomfortable topics and things about ourselves that, we're not willing to admit, so that we do understand what it is we want to embrace, such as, empathy, self-respect, self-acceptance. The only way you can do that is to look at the opposite of that.
Okay, that's it for the interview. Now I have prepared you a little game. It is
Okay.
a quite simple game. So it's called headbands.
Okay.
The rules are simple. Just need to guess what the card is.
Oh, the one
Yeah.
on my head?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
No. Oh yeah. So who'll go first?
Rock, paper, scissors. Loser has to describe.
Sure.
Rock, paper, scissors,
Shoot.
rock,
Paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have to describe what you have. So
Okay.
in one sentence, he's very rich. Very rich.
Rich. Well, there. Huh?
Should I give another clue? He
Yeah.
flies. He flies.
Oh wait. Is it Iron Man?
Okay. That's right. That's correct. You got it right.
Okay.
What's
I'll
mine?
describe this one. So he has a brother, and his brother is like more popular than him. Let's say
Popular.
these siblings have like the opposite
The opposite personality.
opposite personality. Yes.
I mean, the only famous brothers I know is Thor and Loki, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
this must be Loki.
Yeah.
He's the less
That's
popular
right.
one.
That's right. Okay, round 2.
You describe first, because I went first.
Okay.
before.
Okay. So this person, he can shrink or get his body.
He can shrink.
Yeah, he can shrink. His ability is shrinking.
Is this like a superpower that he has or something?
Yeah, that's his superpower.
Oh. I have to guess Ant-Man, because he's a small.
Yes,
He's
that's
the
right.
guy that can shrink.
That's pretty easy though.
Okay.
Okay, next.
You are a villain.
A villain. Who?
A famous villain.
Famous. I'm guessing.
He's purple as well.
Oh, he's purple. Okay.
He's purple as
So I think it's Thanos, right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay.
That was nice.
Okay, guys. I think that's all for today's podcast. Once again, thank you for your appearance
Thank
to
you
be
for
here.
bringing me on here.
Yes, thank you so much. It is a pleasure to have you here in our podcast. And thank you guys for tuning in for the light of the world, where now we will dim the lights now. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be updated who will interview next. My name is Celine and thank you for watching. Good night.
Bye.